Yo, Inca, you want to come out here? How is it going on, everybody? It's your boy Incog back at it again with another BBL team builder video. How's it going? Last week, well, let me go ahead and explain why this is a bit awkward, but it's really not that awkward. Okay. First and foremost, Matt's going on vacation the week of my week 3 game, so we're playing earlier than my week 3 game actually happening. So basically what that means is that I don't know the result of the week 3 game that I have against Amel, so I can't really give you prior context to how I'm feeling about this game. What I can tell you, however, is that I am still 2-0 as of recording this team builder. Now this could obviously change, because I'll probably tell you my record when this battle genuinely goes up, or maybe I won't, because honestly, like I just said, we're playing before I even play my week 3 game. So it's kind of just like, I don't know what my record's going to be at that point. I'm going to be like, basically telling the future, you know, I'm Raven Simone in this bitch, you know what I mean? Regardless of that fact, we're fighting Matt first before we fight Amel, so we're doing week 4, then week 3. The uploads will still line up to be week 3, then week 4, obviously, just so no one gets too confused on what I'm saying here. Regardless, welcome back to another week of BBL action. We fight Matt and Matt O'Shea, the I guess the commissioner. I guess he's the new one, because I think Liv is just taking a back seat to things of the BBL, and his Montreal Myotics. I think he played his week 3, and I think he beat Razor, so he's 2-1. We're still 2-0. So it's an interesting time right now. We could be 2-1 by the time by the time we beat Amel, or we're 2-1 and we lose to Amel. I don't know. Believe me, that'll be an interesting team builder. Regardless of that fact, let's talk about what Matt has. He has the Zekrom, Landorus, Incarnate, Slowbro, Incineroar, Terrakion, Frostlass, Jirachi, Tapu Bulu, Skuntank, Quagsire, Porygon, and Noctowl. Obviously, we are expecting Zekrom, Landorus, Incarnate, Slowbro. We're basically expecting like top 5 through like 8, 7, 9-ish, you know? Because like Bulu shouldn't come, but if it does, it's not like an issue. Jirachi seems like it should come, but it really shouldn't. The dark, the ghost, the fire, the ground, everything. Jirachi shouldn't be here. Frostlass, who knows? Like, I haven't seen it in my mocks, genuinely, so I don't know. But like the top 5-ish for Zekrom, Lando, Slowbro, Incineroar, Terrakion, they should all be here. I guess Quagsire could fill out that last slot, but then I know in one of my mocks, Sandy definitely brought Skuntank, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But basically, Zekrom brings a general Dragon Dancing set. Landorus could be Life Orb. We'll find out turn 1. Slowbro is definitely going to be Boots or Leftovers. If it's like some crazy shit like Castleberry, that's completely fine. Incineroar's probably bringing Boots or even like Assault Vest for itself. Terrakion more than likely is going to be Scarf. We've been testing around with it and it seems to beat the shit out of my team. And then realistically, Quagsire could be your Leftovers. Sandy brought AV Skuntank, which we'll talk about in a bit. If I see Frostlass, I'm kind of just gonna turn my brain off. I don't really care about that Pokemon. It doesn't outpace any of my leads, so we'll be fine. Excuse me, unless you Scarf Destiny Bond, then that could definitely be an issue for me, but I'm fully not expecting that to be brought because as somebody who actually helps man his own front office, I definitely have seen the way he preps, and I find that to be an advantage, at least this time, as I've gotten better, because in the last 2 times I fought Matt, I've lost, and I'm trying to get this W, you know what I'm saying? But it's been 2 or 3 times. I forget how many times we fought, but I've lost every time regardless. So at least having some insider knowledge definitely helps, but obviously you can't go into every game expecting somebody to play a certain way, so obviously we just have to play to our strengths. So I did kind of delete the first. I guess the first team didn't really have many changes to it from the second team. They didn't like varying differences. But to show off the first team I built, technically, it'd be this one. Dragapult is just more so sub, Hex, Will-O-Wisp. I guess it had Skull. It did have Skull to begin with, and this team also has Stills Victini. We have the Whiter Lycanroc Dusk. Shout out to Cherry. He's been floating around that idea, and now I'm actually going to use it. Life Orb, Focus Punch, Weavile. We have the second variant Victini, AV Groudon, Leftovers, Salamence. So basically, the objective of this team is to lead off Weavile, as Matt will probably lead off Landorus, catch the Incineroar coming in, Focus Punch it, and then knock it off, and then that's a dead Incineroar, basically. So, with that being said, let's talk about how that went. So this is Sandy's team that he brought to our mock. He brought a Sash Drakion that did not lead. He brought a Leftovers, kind of just defensive, Slowbro, DD Zekrom with Life Orb, and then also Magnet Rise, Helmet Incineroar, AV Skuntank, and I think maybe I said it, but Scarflando. So, with that being said, let's talk about what happened here. So let's go ahead and do dark, and let's do music off. So real quick, this is the exact lead I'm expecting. Maybe not the exact 6, but this is the exact lead I'm expecting, right? So, he should always be switching out. If he doesn't switch out, I'm dead. Because I died a U-turn. Because, like, if Matt's not switching out, then there's two things I know. He's killing me, and that he is Scarf. So, Focus Punching is my best way to find out what he wants to do. Now, obviously, Matt can go into Slowbro, which is definitely something I'm aware of, but I have to just put my dick on the table. I just have to. Because if Incineroar is going to be such an issue for me to beat from a, since Incineroar is pretty defensive this game against a lot of my team, offensively, I just have to hit it and then just get rid of it, honestly. So obviously I Focus Punch the first turn. I get intimidated and I Focus Punch. Sandy said he was expecting something like this, I guess, but like he's expecting a fighting move and calc for low kick. Obviously, Sandy brought Fake Out, which I didn't understand at first, but it definitely mattered this game, no cap. Hopefully Matt doesn't bring it. Obviously we get the kill, but you know, it's Rocky Helmet plus our Life Orb damage. So now we're at like 20-something%, which is not good. Weavile needs to be higher to do more things. So then we see the U-turning Landorus on our Salamence as Trakin comes in. Goes for Rock Blast, which I think Sandy only gets 2 hits here. And go for Hydro Pump. And originally I was Hydro Pump just to see what I could do with damage. But then I was kind of like, probably not a good decision. I Lava Plume expecting him to switch out. He goes for Grass Knot, only does 35%. At this point, I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to go for Solar Beam. And then it does 76 while he teleports into Landorus. I go into Salamence expecting Earth Power or any move, really. He goes for Knockoff. This tells me that he is Scarf, so I go for Toxic as he does switch out, and I go for Roost. And this Skuntank is an issue. And let me fucking tell you. I didn't realize it was such an issue until I saw this 40%, and I was like, what? What do you mean 40%? It's a Skuntank, my brother in Christ. Well, yeah, it's actually just bulky as shit. So, I was obviously questioning this, but I obviously shouldn't. I got a crit, luckily, here, but it's a big problem if I can't handle it with other Pokemon. So, going to Weavile, obviously, I just go for the knockoff, because honestly, I'm going to get the kills regardless. He gets to justify to knock off his Focus Sash, and I just Ice Shard. Honestly, Sandy should have probably led with this, but I guess he just didn't want to do it for rocks. So I go for knockoff, obviously, naturally, because I know Landorus isn't going to stay in on Ice Shard. Well, I die to Life Orb. Groudon comes in. I get Zekrom. Zekrom definitely goes for the Magnet Rise, and I go for my Earth Power. I actually go for Seismic Toss. Which you'll understand later that I definitely could have just, like, not had this move. I switched it over to a different move. But I just keep going for Lava Plumes, because I'm like, fuck it. He either has Roost or he doesn't. At +2, he does kill me with Dragon Claws. I'm trying to get him in range of Accelerock, and obviously Victini dies here. Victini does nothing in these mocks, by the way. So I kill with Accelerock here. There, just comes in, I go for another Accelerock, and now here's the part where I do lose the game, unfortunately, because I have Scald instead of Surf. If I have Surf, I have a better chance to kill this Pokemon. I think I literally killed this Pokemon. So it's unfortunate how that goes, but it is what it is. Basically, I win the game if I have Surf. Skuntank definitely an issue, and yeah. So what this taught me is, one, I need a different move to hit Zekrom with if Matt brings Magnet Rise, and while he's not one to not do it, he's also not one to bring it if it's not crazy important. I mean, it's a Zekrom versus a Groudon. I think he might bring it, or it'll just be Shuckle Berry, honestly. But regardless of that fact, Sandy did bring it, so I did make a note of it for my final team. So, with that being said, I think I fought Pat with my second team, but obviously you guys see I won this game. I'm actually not sure. Yeah, I did. Okay. So, to reset, let's go ahead and talk about the third team afterwards, because me and Pat did 2 matches, basically, and he wanted to test something out. So Pat brings this Scarf fucking Bulu here, man. And let me fucking tell you. For context, because I am in match for an office, this video won't come out until after week 3 anyway. Matt did bring Scarf Bulu against Razor, and it was definitely better for him to have it than not to have it. So it could come this game, but it obviously would not be something he should do. I have Intimidate, and I have ways to get around it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and show off what happened this game. So he leads Landers just like Sandy, and I go for Focus Punch again, get the Incineroar, hit up 89%, and then I just go for Knockoff, and since it's not Rocky Helmet, that's great. So 81%, that's where I want to be at. So Zekrom comes in, I just go for Triple Axle because I'm like, fuck it, honestly, it's either you die or you don't die. Because I'm intimidated, he obviously doesn't die, and I obviously take this Draco meter to the face and I die. Here's the thing, I think Pat is spec Zekrom, which was definitely something crazy. So we do kill Zekrom, we do get off the Toxic and Slow Bars to go for Scald. I guess he's expecting me to switch out. I don't really care to be burned on it, obviously. Bad play on me to let Salamence die, because I should have just switched out. So now I have to play with the fact that I have to basically beat a Terrakion and a Bulu without my specialty Intimidator. Pretty bad stuff. So I Blue Flare and thinking he's gonna still switch out. He doesn't. He goes for Scald, only does 38%. Victini eats that, of course. Landers comes in, I go for Thunderbolt, because I guess it's pretty obvious. I go into Groudon here knowing that I can take any hit. Goes for Earth Power, and then he goes for U-Turn afterwards, as I just go for my Lava Plume into Solar Beam combo. You already know what it is. And I get rid of the Slowbro. Almost. I take an Ice Beam, though, so that's good. So I get rid of the Slowbro, obviously, and obviously Landers is going to take out my Victini. We are Shucker Berry, but it doesn't really matter. More so because if it's a 1v1 scenario, that's where I want that. So I go into Dragon Ball here, and this is where the fun begins. I burn the Tapu Bulu, because that's the best thing I can do here. Goes for Wood Hammer, does 25%. I just go for Hexes, obviously. So at this point, I'm kind of like, who really cares? Because it's a Dragapult versus the world at this point. I guess Lycanroc technically is versus the world, but So he goes back into his Landorus. I obviously just go for Surf because I'm going to do 53%, and I'll always live in Earth Power, so I don't really care. This is how I found out it wasn't Scarf, obviously. I just go for another Surf because it does kill, as I get more grassy terrain health and my leftovers. So then I obviously just Will-O-Wisp the Terrakion. We do see Iron Head pop. It is just going to do a little bit of, 24%. And I just go for a Hex, doing a chunk of damage while he goes for his next Iron Head. This was a Banded Terrakion, by the way. And then we just went out with Close Combat like a rock. So, this realistically taught me two things. One, that Scarf Bulu, while it's good, is not effective enough to be locked into one move. And Pat could have probably not been locked into Woodhammer, but obviously it was a switch in, so he did get burned, of course. So it didn't really help. If he went for Darkest Lariat, I pretty much will be fine. I can go into Groudon, sack that, and then go into Lycanroc, and then just kill him with Stone Edge. But more on that at 11. Me and Pat had another mock, and I forgot what Pat wanted to test here. So we're going to be watching this kind of fresh, kind of new. I don't know. Oh, no. Pat wanted to test out if he didn't lead Landorus, could I still win this game? And that's very important because obviously, I got to find out if I can win without a Lando lead. So, goes Incineroar first. I go Weavile first, of course, because that's my plan. I go into Lycanroc Dust every time. Even if I get knocked off with my White Herb, it's completely fine as it goes into Slowbro. I missed my first Toxic. He doesn't have Teleport, so I lose my Lycanroc for free. I was trying to, just get the shit to be correct, but it's all good. So, I just go for Sub here. I'm going to go for Surf, of course. Get off my 43%, and that is a chunky boy, so we got to go ahead and switch out into Salamence here. And this is why this is good to test, because I have to figure out what I need to do to stay out of a situation like this, as he obviously goes into the Slowbro. I'm going to go for Sub here in case he wants to go for Ice Beam, and he does, of course, so I am just going to go for my Hex, I believe, this turn. Or actually, I can keep going for Sub because I know Hex will kill eventually, so I'm pretty good on this. So I Sub again. And now I know 2 Surfs will always kill, or at least 3 in this case, but 2 now will kill this Incineroar, obviously. So that's really good for me. So I just do that and get rid of the Incineroar pretty early on. And now we're at a 5-5, and now he goes into Bulu. I just go into Salamence because I will just go ahead and go for my Intimidate. He goes for Stone Edge, doing 50%. I'll go into Groudon here, as he does end up missing his next Stone Edge, which is Goes into Zekrom here, of course. I just go for Solar Beam to get off a little bit of damage. Pat goes for Draco Meter and unfortunately misses. I go for my Earth Power and get him down to 2%. Of course, the Draco Meteor only does 65%, so at least once I get hit once, I can just switch out afterwards, but it is good to know how much it originally does. Sea Ladders come in on my, my Groudon. I go into Salamence as he goes for U-turn, and he goes to Drakion as he goes to just Stone Edge to get rid of my Salamence, which is fine by me. I go into Dragapult knowing that I can just go for a free Will-O-Wisp, unless, obviously Slowbro comes in and I burn this. Go for Hex to 65%. Goes for a late-ish game Rocks, and I'm still confused by this play, but it's fine by me. Slowbro comes back in. I go for Hex. I tank an Ice Beam because this Dragapult is meant to just tank things. And I just keep going for my Hexes and my Surfs, as you guys know. You guys know the vibes. Bulu comes back in. I just go hard Groudon because I don't need this Pokemon anymore, if I'm being honest with you. And Darkest Lair does 27. And then ends up killing me. So I just go into Weavile because I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, we ball. Fuck it, we ball. Fuck it, we ball. I could take 3, apparently. Or at least 2. So I go for Triple Axle and I get this kill out the way. And then it's Terrakion again. Obviously it's Bandit. I go for another Triple Axle. Unfortunately though, I only get oh no, I do get all the hits, but I do crit. Even if I didn't crit, Dragapult did clean up that game regardless. So this more so shows me if Incineroar is the lead, then at least I know what I can do in that situation. And that's very important. So now we got in there, and I would show the first replay against Cherry, but I was kind of just helping Matt with his own matchup, so I wasn't focusing, so I don't really count that one. So we're going to talk about the real deal, replay here. Cherry obviously helps me a lot too. Shout out to him. And this is a team, all right. Quagsire is brought. And for those who haven't been paying attention, Bulu's not there. And then Skunktank's not there. So basically I'm getting the best of all 3 of the options that I'm basically thinking I could see. If Frostlass is in that slot, excuse me, I'm fine with that as well. So as you can see on screen, Victini's not here and we have Celesteela. So now we can talk about what we are doing. So that's different stuff. This will become relevant later. You guys will understand. If you know, you know. So the changes between these two teams are pretty, like, they have the nicknames, and obviously, we have different moves and everything. Everything's established now. Okay. We've decided to rename Dragon Ball Birth Control. Once again, if you know, you know. Like Cantarock, obviously. Ricola. Debricashaw, obviously. We have Dragon Pulse. I think that one is going to be pretty obvious to some of you because, Cypher Toss is cool and all, but Dragon Pulse will ensure that even if he goes to Magnet Rise, we're getting off damage. Salamence has Dragon Tail now and is basically just a defensive monster. We Dragon Tail Zekrom out because Zekrom might want to set up on us at first. We're always going to outpace it no matter what, so it will probably go for a setup move or be Haban Bear or some bullshit, so it can do whatever it wants to do. As long as we intimidate it, we don't die to Dragon Claw, we don't die to Fusion Flare, but I think we die to Outrage if it's Dragon Fang boosted. I think. I actually don't recall. I did a calc, I didn't do too many calcs. And then we put Celesteela on this team over Victini. Why? Victini was doing fucking nothing. And Celesteela basically guarantees that after Rocks, we do live at least 3 close combats if it's not Life Orb boosted. If it is boosting them, then we only live 2. So basically, after the first close combat, we just Flash Cannon it and get it out of there, or we can easily just Leech Seed because it's probably going to want to switch out. But Celesteela is really, really fun here. More so that we definitely want it here in case we lose Groudon very early on and we don't have much for a Quagsire, and if we can't get off a Toxic, then at least we have this. We barely miss out on a 2-hit KO against Slowbro max HP, but basically, Celesteela is just being annoying like it usually does in most Draft League games. So that being said, let's talk about this. So, Cherry brings the Quagsire. I actually forgot what Cherry's team was. If he posted it, that would be nice. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. He did not. Oh, there it is. Okay. So, Cherry has Heavy Duty Boots on his Zekrom. A very defensive Zekrom. Oh, wow. That's interesting. I didn't know that. He was Soft Sand Landorus, Heavy Duty Boots, Spadef, Incineroar, Defensive AV, Slowbro, Scarf, Terrakion. and didn't even need that much speed, so he put it all in Spadef, and then he was just defensive helmet, unaware Quagsire. So this team is very like defensive based, and while I don't think it's unlikely that Matt would bring something like this, it's definitely on that kind of, I don't know, it could happen type of ordeal. So with that being said, let's go and watch the match. Basically, oh my god, I am so sorry if I just bass boosted in anybody's ears. I did not make sure the music was, oh my god, my ear hurts. You know what, honestly, I don't even think I have this, I don't think I have this playing volume, so I just bass boosted myself. Regardless, hello. Weavile's always going to be our lead no matter what. So we are going to see the Quagsire come in as I just go for knockoff, because if Slowbro is the lead, there is absolutely, positively no reason not to knock off. If he's Colbert, I want that item. If I die because I lose my Weavile to a Slowbro going for flamethrowers and shit, fine by fucking me. I just need to make sure that if I go for another Dark Attack, which I don't have, or if he's Castleberry, which obviously he might be, that I get rid of that item immediately. So we do knock off the Quagsire's Rocky Helmet. We are just going to go for Triple Axle. We only get one hit. If I get 3 hits, that thing dies. So he does just go for double yawn as I go into Celesteela, and I just go for the kill. Because at this point, Celesteela is mainly here to take hits, and obviously getting that defense boost means we will be able to take a lot of hits. So we do switch out into Mandy, obviously. He is just going to go for Dragon Claw, only doing 49%. With the leftovers, he do live another one, so he does go into Slow Bar to go for Dragon Tail. I could have Toxic, and I probably should have, but I didn't. Goes for U-turn. Goes back into Zekrom. I just go for Toxic here, which is very good against the Zekrom, honestly. So he does just go into Slow Bars. I go for Roost, as he's thinking I'm probably going to switch out. I go for another Toxic, which is also very good, as he goes for Ice Beam, doing 95%. So I'm like, damn, I gotta go with Celesteela. Celesteela will eat that hit. So we are gonna burn at least one sleep turn off here. And then he's actually just gonna go for the kill here and get rid of my Celesteela. Because I was thinking maybe he wouldn't, but I didn't know if he had Dragon Dance or not. So I had to go for it. So I do go back into Mandy, and I just go into Debrickashaw thinking he's just gonna go for Dragon Claw Bolt Strike. Go Dragon Claw and doing 22%, obviously because it's -1. Going back into Landers, so I go for Lava Plume, getting the crit. I still 2-kill that without a crit as I go into Mandy, as he goes to Grass Knot. And I just go into Lycanroc, think he's going to go for something different. And I'm obviously just making offensive plays here because I need to. So I just go for Stone Edges and just hitting the Slowbro so it can't regenerate as much HP as it's getting willed down by Toxic. As I double for... No. Y'all not see it. Y'all not Wanda. Y'all not fucking with the vision. Do y'all see the double I just pulled knowing Incineroar's coming in? That's such an obvious fucking play that if he had just teleported, he easily gets in a different Pokemon here. But what other Pokemon does he can't get into anything else, so he has to go Incineroar. I just be knowing shit, bro. That was a nice, I'm not gonna cap. That was a nice play by yours truly, my nigga. Anyways, regardless of that fact, I obviously make that double after Lycanroc dies. Going into the Debrickashaw, knowing full and damn well that Incineroar is going to come in, and I really do not care to test out how Spadef this Incineroar is at this point. So, I over Lava Plume think he's going to switch out. I get a crit of 21%, which I guess kind of mattered. He goes for Flare Blitz, taking a little bit of recoil, and Earth Power just ends up killing him. So he does go into the Landorus here. Goes for Grass Knot, does kill me, unfortunately, because I am pretty low. I go into Dragon Ball here, go for Hex, because I know I always kill. And you see Terrakion come in, and then we see Zekrom double in. So now I'm going to Mandy, getting off my Intimidate. I just let fucking Mandy go here, because I'm like, fuck it, bro. What are you going to do to me? You know what I mean? Like, I can sit here and say, fuck it, we ball. You know what I mean? As he goes with Slowbro as I go for another Roost. At this point, I'm kind of just like, damn, this is bad. I go into Weavile knowing I'm going to get Ice Beam, because now I'm in a really good position to do what I can. Zekrom comes in as I go for my knockoff, which it does end up not killing, but Toxic does take it out, which is fine. We are going to see Terrakion come in finally, and now I go into Mandy, get off another Intimidate, as we see the Stone Edge miss, which is unfortunate. We are going to see Stone Edge hit, doing 74%. We are going to get off our Toxic, which I guess I could have just Dragon Tailed, honestly, but I don't know. Hits his second Stone Edge, which now I'm kind of like, damn, at least he's -1, so I can go into Dragon Bolt. Stone Edge is 41. I go for Hex, and then he goes for another Stone Edge, of course. I believe this... No. So I just go for another Hex, killing the Slowbro. I think this one might crit. I'm actually not sure. There it is. So it does crit, which is unfortunate, but we do just kill this Ice Shard Weavile, so we're all good. So, a victory nonetheless, but still a close game. And that's what we want. We really want to keep this between you and me, dog. We want this to be a W. We don't want this to be an L because we fucked up. We just have to play to knowing our opponent. And because I help Matt so much, it's fairly easy for me to put together what I should and should not do during the game. I should attack what's in front of me, but I should also make the play that I think he would make in that situation too. But I also have to think for myself. I just have to be like, damn, is this nigga really going to do this? And he might. So, win our mocks. The other mock that was scrapped, obviously, we did lose the cherry because I was not focusing, but that was more so good enough for me to look back at it and say, what do I need to focus on more? And it was basically the Tini needed to go. So, with that being said, we have his team, we have this replay, we have this team, we have this. So, welcome to the BBL Team 3. 236 HP, 140 special attack, and 132 speed. This allows me to outspeed everything on the team outside of Frostless we do outpace. So, good old Dragapult gonna be the bulkier variant here. Sub Hex, Will-O-Wisp, Surf, because if we sub on something and we get off a Will-O-Wisp against most physical attackers, they will fold to this Dragapult set. We do 2-hit KO most Landorises with Surf, unless he's like, I suppose, Pasho Berry for some reason. Lycant Rock is Whiter, close combat. Obviously, we want to go ahead and allow Incineroar to come in against us, and then we will eat our White Herb basically, and then we'll just close combat it, probably killing it, and if we don't, Accelerock will take it out afterwards. Pretty dope set if you ask me. Toxin is there because of Slowbro. Ricola, just Adamant 252s, and this was also 252s, but Jolly. Basically, if I'm leading this and Landorus leads, it shouldn't U-turn because it does not want to die to Ice Shard or Triple Axle or literally anything at all, because there's no chance that Landorus lives a fucking Triple Axle on 3 hits. And on top of which, it should not stay in unless it is Scarf Landorus. If it fucking U-turns and kills me, that is fine. At least I find out the first turn, because I can play with a Weavile. It'll be difficult, but I can do it. Then we got Debricashaw, again, Assault Vest special, because I don't trust physical too much. I used it against Tone, but I'm not gonna cap. It's not, it wasn't, could have definitely not worked. Pretty general set here. Mandy's defensive with a bunch of speed to outpace Zekrom. And Dragon Tail, just in case Matt feels the need to start trying to set up against me because he feels like I'm going to switch out. And Ostila is our Celesteela with Leech Seed or the Energy Ball, Flash Cannon, Toxic, defensive as shit, lives non-boosting item, Terrakion, close combat 3 times, and if it's boosting item, they only live about 2, so there's that. So, objective, make sure we find out Terrakion and Landorus' item, don't play like a bitch, and that's it. So, that's going to do it for the team builder against Matt and his Montreal Milotics. This one's a bit of a longer one because I really do feel like I can win this game. And there's a lot to go over in terms of what I should and should not do. So hopefully you guys like these kind of videos. If you do, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Check out all my other videos on my channel. And also all the other coaches in the description down below. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll talk to you guys in the match.